Good morning, YouTube world and book lovers alike. This is gonna be a series again. See how many chapters. It's gonna be 12 videos long, so it's gonna be a short series. But the book I'm going to be reading to you guys, the YouTube universe, and this is not a plug for them. They did not ask me for this. I'm doing it on my own accord like I did with their last book. I bought The Blobs, Crash Land by Justin Stuart and illustrated by Rick Douglas. If you don't know who those are, Justin Stuart is 1/2 or 1/3 or whatever of J. Stu. The only reason why I say 1/2 is because you got Justin and Andrew, or 1/3 you got Justin, Andrew, and Isaac. But also Isaac's kind of like a third wheel, like everybody else. They incorporated him. And Rick is the illustrator for J. Stu. Justin and Rick has been working on this for last year. I've been watching the YouTube. Go check them out. They promote on their main channel and Justin's channel. And Rick don't have YouTube, but he's got Instagram, so go check that out too. I'll show you the cover. Hold on. And if it's on Amazon, it's on their website, it's on Pristine Collectibles, I think. You can have them signed and everything. It's on Shields. Shields ain't my state; it's in other states. So this is kind of going to be probably backwards. That's the book right there. And I mean, Rick, you did a phenomenal job on this. Like, I mean, I know it's hardcover, and that's what I wanted. Like, if I had 3D glasses, Rick, it looked like it's going to stand out on me. That's how good you did. I'm glad. I forgot who you guys are working with. Did all this. That's this one. And this is just volume 1. I don't know how many volumes they're going to make. But this is the side or whatever, I can't think of that. Then you have the back. That's the back. I mean, it's like perfect. You guys did this like almost better than Captain Underpants, I gotta say. But I bought it on Amazon, so I will leave a review, Justin, once I get done reading it. And I did get a first edition. Awesome. That's good. Published by David C. Cook is the publisher. So we're gonna do 13 chapters because we're gonna do prologue first, and then we're gonna read prologue and chapter 1 this morning. Prologue. The prison cell was dark, cold, empty. The kind of place that sent shivers down your spine just standing in it. Ketitsky, and I will pronounce these names wrong, and I'm gonna butcher them. So, in advance for this whole book, I do apologize, Justin, and I do apologize to your readers and listeners. Spoilers alert! Again, before I go any further, you don't want to read it or listen to it, keep going. I've never been inside a prison before, let alone as a prisoner. How did this happen? The question bounced around his head, but there wasn't a time to think. The only thing that mattered now was getting out. His eyes darted to the cell-thick metal door he had come through. Locked tight. I've got to find a way out here, he muttered under his breath. My friends are in danger, and who knows what those glitchy freaks are planning when they come back. Thud, thud, thud. Loud stumps echoed down the hallway. Time had run out. Panic filled Kadetsky's chest as he pressed against the wall. The deep, booming voice of a guard carried through the halls. Oh, he's over here. Kadetsky's heart pounded in his ears. His eyes widened in fear. They were back. Chapter 1. Income. 12 hours earlier, at the end, 12 hours earlier, At the end of his last class, before anyone could say, "We'll see you next semester," Cadet Skis blasted through the front doors of his school like he was being chased by a pack of wild animals. In reality, he just couldn't wait to get to the Schoolmobileville Hover Desk Park. He had just a couple more weeks to hang out there because soon he and every other blob would have to evac the planet in what they would be calling the Great Escape. Ever since scientists had spotted a giant meteor headed straight for the blob homeworld, the usual chill, peaceful blobs have been scrambling to build and pack escape pods to move everyone to a new planet called Splotch. Kadekski's family had gone ahead with the advanced team to set up the new blob world. He stayed behind to finish school, much to the disappointment. School is not his thing, and grades were there to prove it, especially blob studies, where the class had spent a whole week reviewing what everyone already knew. Blob scientists couldn't figure out what a blob even is. That's why, way back in the day, their ancestors had decided to call themselves blobs. As the story went, it was better than beans with legs or weird alien eggs. And space potatoes. Space potatoes! Secretly, Kadekskis thought if he could have been on the committee, he'd have come up with something way better than blobs. Oh well, while clicking on his helmet, he paused to watch the new blob force enlistees from his class march off in formation to their first blob force training camp. He always dreamed of being in the blob force, the protectors of blob society. It's just that distractions like designing the race hover disc seemed to keep getting in his way. If he only had to buckle down on his studies, maybe he wouldn't have been rejected. When he tried to enlist, shaking his head at himself, he activated his latest hover disc creation. It shot off like a rocket toward the park. A Schoolmobileville was a small town, quaint town full of lively blobs. Everyone seemed to know everyone. There were little shops scattered around town, squared. Kadetskis knew the place like the back of his hand. He'd grown up here. In the center was a fountain, which Kadetskis wasn't some scenic landmark. It was another obstacle to jump. He was going to miss that fountain. And I will show you the pictures. Oops, I forgot to show you the picture in the prologue. That's the picture of prologue. He's in the cell. And that's the other picture. I mean, even if they're in, before I go on the next page, even black and white, Rick, you did a darn phenomenal job. Like just looking at the cover and looking at this book in black and white, I do hope you guys make a color one. Like, eventually when you guys get bigger and get more into it, make another volume or whatever. When you reprint this, make these like stand out like the colors like of the book. I don't know if you guys are thinking about that, but it's a good idea. But that's the picture of the town. I don't know who's who. I'm guessing that's the Kadekskis right there, because he said he's jumping over the fountain. Zooming down the sidewalk at top speed, he weaved through the crowd like a pro, dodging blobs left and right, something he usually fly right by without a second thought. But something made him stop abruptly. His hover disc screeched to a halt, his eyes locking on the massive screen in the window. Big red letters flashed across the display. Emergency broadcast. Kadetski's heart dropped into his stomach as he glided close. The news blobcaster voice blared from the speakers. We're interrupting this program with some breaking news. Our blob force scientists have announced that they made a slight miscalculation in the meteor's trajectory. The screen flashed with graphics showing the size of the meteor next to the planet with the distance between the two. Not much at all. Suddenly, the blobcaster's eyes bulged. She screamed, "Immediate evacuation is required! Immediate evacuation is required!" Shocked, flooded cadets. "I thought we still had 2 weeks." Someone else shrieked at the crowd. Blobs scattered in panic, and sirens began to blare across town. Kadetsky's moved faster than he ever had in his life. He just finished designing a jet engine that he was teasing about on his hover desk. Until this moment, even he didn't know it could go this fast. Hitting top speed, he jumped over fences and took every shortcut. He knew. His mind raced faster than his hover desk. He barely stopped in time to avoid crashing straight into his front door. Chubbs! He sprinted up the stairs, thoughts spinning. Luckily, Kadetsky was ridiculously organized. He had already packed for the journey to the planet Splotch. He knew where everything important was. He stopped and eyed the rejection letter he had received from the Blob Force on his desk before stuffing it into his backpack as well. The letter reminded him of a dream that was crushed. Well, he had no time to ponder. His bag crammed so full he could barely zip it up, but he paused, anxiously scanning every corner of his room. It felt like he was forgetting something. Chubbs, he explained, grabbing his chatcom in a panic. Chubbs had been his best friend since forever, and there were no way he was leaving without him. The command rang as Kadetsky ran out the door, his stuff in his hand. One ring, nothing, another ring. Kadetsky's heart raced. Chubbs wandered through the greenhouse, tending to his massive collections of sugglemints, his favorite plants. Sugglemints were a popular plant in Smoogeville. They were firm with pointy edges on the leaves and easy to keep alive. Chubbs was an expert on everything plants. He lived, breathed, and planted plants. He even considered plants to be part of his family since he moved out on his own a few years ago. "There you go, little guy. Just a little drink," he whispered to his favorite succulent, Gilbert. Yes, Chubbs named all his plants. Ringing the old chatcom startled him. He actually knocked 2 succulents onto the floor. He stared down at the poor Barb in dismay. He said, "Answer the com," with terror, slipping down his creek. Kadetsky's frantic voice came through. "Chubbs, did you see the news?" Chubbs, confused, written all over his face, replied, "No, I have not. Don't have a blobble vision. Remember, my clever succulents require constant care, and I'm fully dedicated to their needs. Distractions are the #1 reason why." "Chubbs, listen." Kadetsky's cut in. "We don't have much time. We need to get to the pod transport zone." For a second, there was nothing but silence. You could almost hear the clocks ticking in the background. Still holding a succulent, Chubbs glanced around his greenhouse, trying to piece it all together. He glanced over his plant Bob Lobster and noticed the scared screen on his look. Lobster was his most prized possession. Chubbs had rescued the intelligent plant robot years ago, but he stumbled upon a abandoned factory and found the forlorn plant bot about to be scooped up by greedy scrappers. He took it home and named it Lobster. The plant bot had been designed to make gardening easier. It helps Chubbs know how to care for his plants. A friendship was formed, and Chubbs didn't go anywhere without it. Seeing his ancient little techno friend gave Chubbs the courage he would never leave Lobster behind. "It's okay, Lobster. I'll get this figured out," Chubbs said. The nervous plant bot. "Kadetsky, I'm a little confused," he began. Kadetsky, out of breath and out of patience, yelled, "The meteor's going to destroy our planet in less than 3 hours. The meteor's going to destroy our planet in less than 3 hours." Face turning pale, I will show you all these pictures, don't worry. Face turning pale, Chubbs froze, his eyes wide, locked on the plant bot in his hand. He was struck. Kadetsky knew his friend too well. "Snap out of it. Grab not anything important and meet me at the transport zone ASAP." Chubbs blinked, barely understanding his voice. Shook as he replied, "Okay." He ended the call, still paralyzed. Then it all sank in with the scream. Chubbs blotted at the end, out of the greenhouse Lobster, as many plants as he could carry, and ran for his life. And the last page is him literally running out of the greenhouse. Chubbs is running out of the greenhouse. Again, Rick, you did a phenomenal job. I think you guys should do this in color next time, or if you guys redo this book, do the pictures in color. There's Plant Bod. There's Kadetsky calling out for Chubbs. Then there's Chubbs. We meet him. So this is the second character, I'm guessing. That's his greenhouse. And there's the letter that he got from the forest. There's him calling out to his buddy. And then there's the newscaster. These videos are going to be between 15 to 20 minutes long, and I do apologize because I am reading this to you, but I'm not going to read it daily. So I'll read it when I can. So you guys have a great day.